Welcome, everybody. We are so excited. We love Wednesday mornings, the experience live with Russ and Scott. How you doing, Scott?
Man, I'm doing great. I was awake early again this morning, and I was thinking about a friend of mine had posted a request. He goes, "I need an aggressive alarm clock," and there was all kinds of examples with loud bells and flashing lights and klaxon horns. No shortage. Of course, my response to him was, "You need an alarm clock that gets you into bed 7 to 8 hours before you want to wake up."
we It's interesting because I'm the kind of guy, I think I've told you before, I don't need an alarm clock. My head just wakes me up. So, which is good. I don't have to rely on that. I never have. I just wake up when it's time, and that's a blessing. I know everybody's not like that, but
No.
yeah.
Hey, I want to say one thing too about Laura's office. I love that sign she has behind her that says "Go the extra mile. It's never crowded."
Well, because, I think she is the key to going the extra mile. I mean,
Yep.
her team, the whole, Keller Williams organization, but her Gillette Home team
Yeah.
is fabulous. And you know that she is like in the country, one of the leading real estate brokers and teams in the entire U.S. So she's doing awesome out of Little Lebanon, Oregon.
Fabulous. Fabulous, isn't it? Isn't it
It is.
wonderful?
It is great. Well, listen, you and I could chat all day, but we're going to bring in our first guest today
Yeah.
and make sure hopefully AJ's had his coffee. AJ, I got to tell you, AJ Wilcox, we were just chatting the other day. He's lacking energy a little bit, and I think that AJ needs a little bit. So come on, AJ.
I tell everyone I came out of the womb pre-caffeinated. Like I'm not a coffee drinker, and like this is how I am 100% of the time. So
Yep.
sorry for anyone that this comes off a little bit too much.
Yes. Well, back in the day when I had hair and it was more reddish blonde, we could have been in the same family because I pretty much came out of my mother pre-caffeinated as well. Usually what I get mostly, my wife was kidding me the other day because my mom would always say, Russell, calm down. Shh, it's okay. Inside voice, and so people still, my wife still says that to me. It's okay, honey. Just take it easy.
We are.
I love your energy, AJ, and I want you to tell us a little bit about LinkedIn ads and all that you're doing. Go ahead.
Yeah, sure. So my long story made incredibly short. I ran the world's largest LinkedIn ads account. After seeing how well it did for about 2.5 years, I decided to start my own agency because this couldn't be the only one company that was going to have incredible success with LinkedIn ads. And so this has been just over 6 years. I've run an agency called b2links.com, and we only specialize in LinkedIn ads. It's the one trick pony that I'm proud to be riding. And been doing some really cool stuff. The ad platform has been just growing by leaps and bounds. We have like 12 or more different ad formats you can choose. We've got like 29, maybe above 30 now, different targeting facets that you can use to go after your ideal customer. So anyway, it's a nice green field to be plowing in.
You mean we should have an ideal customer?
Yeah, I think it's probably a good idea.
Well, Scott's always good on that.
Well, I love that you've focused in on this, and our buddy John Nemo, the LinkedIn dude, man, as he always says, the riches are in the niches.
Oh yeah, and I absolutely agree with that. When I think about starting my own agency, early on in my career, I focused on search engine optimization and Google ads and building websites. And I'm certain that if I would have tried to start an agency that did any of those things, even if it was a deep specialty, I would not have been able to stand out. But because I went after a niche of LinkedIn ads that no one cared about, no one had ever heard before, that allowed me to actually sprint forward and gain a foothold. So I'm a big proponent of riches are in the niches.
Well, I think it's interesting because LinkedIn, a couple of years ago, I was not a huge fan, and I have just grown into thinking it's the greatest thing around. LinkedIn is such a great place to connect, place to talk to all sorts of business people, all different industries, including people in the medical industry, people writing children's books like Ken Korber, our next guest. Ken's in the house. How's it going, Ken?
Hey, how's life treating you in the Pacific Northwest? Good to be here. As a business owner now, entrepreneur, I was 20 years in healthcare delivery as a PA in cardiology, surgery, and then most recently outpatient care, blood pressure. And then we were always searching for a way to extend that 10-minute office visit, right? So that's always been the challenge. From the healthcare side. So I came up with this idea of musical adventures of grace, through a long story. That has then grown to have each of the characters write their own little stories about patient education and things that the next generation of kids need to know, like brushing their teeth and not eating salt and not eating sugar and obesity issues and frame it in a way that's friendly and non-confrontational, but yet health literacy centric for a 3 to 6 year old. So there's no need for adult conversations.
I was so grateful to see these books so we met last year at the New York Toy Fair, just literally a couple of weeks before the world changed. And we were there at the Javits Center and Bill Southard's booth there, or his room, bringing through the different folks. And you had the books. And I don't know, we just really connected well there. And then, as I say, about 2 weeks later, after we left the Javits Center, it stopped doing trade shows and became an infirmary because New York was like the epicenter of COVID. Right. And then, but because you're also a medical professional, you're writing these books, then what happened?
Well, the COVID pandemic lockdown was, in a way for me, and I was getting feedback from my parent customers that they were having trouble trying to communicate with the youngest people in their families about what this whole COVID thing was about, right? So I said, well, maybe there's an opportunity there to kind of create something for the kids to make it.
Anyway.
Hey, it is always an experience with you,
Oh,
Russ.
my goodness. Yes, it is.
With Ken and AJ, what a fabulous day.
And we're going to tie things up for today. Don't forget the after party on Clubhouse. There you go.
Clubhouse.
Right, Clubhouse. And we are so glad for all of you tuning in. Remember, if you're tuning in on replay, type #replay and just give us a comment. So glad that you can still see this even after we're done. So until we see you again, which is next Wednesday.
One more thing.
Pacific Standard Time.
There is a Experience Plus coming up.
Oh, thank you, man. It's a good thing I have you, Scott, because I would forget all this stuff. Tomorrow night, it's night for us, 4:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time tomorrow. We have a special, The Experience Live with Russ and Scott. So tune into that 4:30 Pacific Standard Time. We have a special, The Experience, with two of our good friends, Stephen and Donna Fry from Australia. And they have been on last year in 2020 on an incredible connection journey with at least one person new, meeting and one person new every day the entire year. And they met a lot more per day, but that was their minimum. Very inspiring and exciting story. So that's tomorrow. Stephen and Donna Fry on The Experience special. Did I forget?
All right,
Scott?
Now we can wind it up. Join us over on Clubhouse. We'll talk more.
All right, everybody. We'll see you later. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Cheers.